They just sent a serious message to the rest of the NBA as Cade Cunningham and Jalen Duren both spoke to the media at All-Star Weekend, revealing how they feel about the position of the Detroit Pistons sitting atop of not only the Eastern Conference but the NBA standings, as this team aspires to not only win a championship but prove to the rest of the league that they are the most dominant team in the NBA. And Cade Cunningham goes as far as speaking on the Boston Celtics, who are set to get Jason Tatum back in the near future. We're going to break down everything from these quotes, where the Pistons sit in the standings, and so much more. Before we get into it, I just want to give a huge shout out to everyone watching. We're trying to reach our goal of 1,000 subscribers, just under 60 away. So if you guys are enjoying the content on the Detroit Pistons and you want to stay up to date on everything to do around the team, from trades, report, game recaps, anything you can think of, you can get right here on Pistons Digest. So make sure to go and hit that free subscribe button. It means the absolute world. Now with that, let's just dive into it. And we know the Pistons are very lucky this season, having not one but two players representing the team heading into the All-Star break. We can see the photos of Jalen Duren and Cade Cunningham, the best duo in the NBA, and I do want to give some flowers to both players. Cade Cunningham, going into this season, has completely changed his game, not in the sense of scoring more or leading an assist, but right now we're seeing a complete player that is not only inspiring to win a championship, but a runner-up at the moment to win the league MVP. We can look through the numbers. In the points, 97th percentile. 83rd in reboundings, which is insane for a guard, 100%, because he leads the NBA in assists, and we can see the minutes. But the big thing with Cade Cunningham, and even in the first game of the All-Star, if you have been watching, we do know he had a steal and a block in this game. We can see that the offense, the defensive ratings, everything points that not only is Cade Cunningham one of the best players in the NBA at the moment, but he's also leading the team that is sitting atop of the Eastern Conference and the rest of the NBA as they continue to dominate going into the break. And of course, Jalen Duren, who is suspended for one more game, but let's be honest, that was totally worth it. Looking at Jalen Duren once again, giving the flowers to the big men, one of the league's most dominant at the moment, almost 18 points a game, 10.5 rebounds, 2 assists. We can work your way through. What we're seeing out of Jalen Duren is, once again, we're getting a dominant point guard, a dominant big, and it is showing the success around this team. Looking at the rebounding, 95th percentile in offensive and defensive rebounding percentage, the offensive rating, the defensive rating. This is a team that continues to climb farther and farther in the standings. And of course, it is on the back of not only their two All-Stars, where we see the team is 40-13, but also on J.B. Bickerstaff, who has implemented a system to this team that has completely changed the culture. Now, we're going to get into these quotes, of course, and even more on the team. But looking at Bickerstaff, I think this is the coach of the year. It's without a doubt. Looking at this record and looking at his record with the team, we can see last year 44-38, which they did lose in the first round, but going into this season 40-13, just 4 games short of having their wins from last season. And we know they have close on 30 games left. This is a Pistons team that has grown year after year. Of course, there was a dark spell where we see 17-14 wins in consecutive seasons, but jumping in to lose in the Eastern Conference first round. And then looking at this season, Bickerstaff has implemented not only an off the court, where we see this be like a brotherhood. Every player loves each other. We see them do things off the court together, on the court together. This is a culture that J.B. Bickerstaff and management has brought into this team, and I can't look at it enough and say this is a huge part. Of course, Jalen Duren and the All-Star MVP right now in Cade Cunningham, but it does dive into just looking at the team, at the league, what this Pistons team has done. This season is nothing short of magical. And I shouldn't say magical because this is a dominant team, but this is a team that is still very young. Ron Holland, young. Thompson, you can work your way down the list, but sitting right at the top, 40-13 with a 75.5% winning percentage and over 70% against over 500 teams. But it dives right into the fact that this team has spoke, and Jalen Duren, I love these quotes before we get into Cade and speaking on the Celtics. It's kind of like being broke and then getting money. You never want to be broke again. That's really what it is. Bro is understanding what the bottom felt like and never wanting to go back, because we all have basketball pride and we all want to be the best we do. Knowing what the bottom feels like again, it's never wanting to go back. Now, I love this quote as well. Looking at a team that was bottom of the league 2 years and looking at them, of course, getting Cade Cunningham, the pleasure of adding this talent, but looking at Jalen Duren, looking at this team, they know what rock bottom feels like. Now they know what the top of the Eastern Conference, the top of the NBA feels like, running in with the best defensive game. But the big thing with Jalen Duren and continuing through, we're number one, but we're not about to throw a party because we're number one in these. Or no, one in the league, that doesn't mean anything. The biggest change will be going from 14 wins to holding a trophy. Now, looking at this, we know that many of them spoke. We've seen Bickerstaff speak. We've seen management speak. This is a team that is inspiring to win a championship. And of course, you need to go into the playoffs. It's a whole different game. A 7-game series. Yes, the Pistons should be favorites in this, but you need to prove it. And we can see that all these guys are not content with just getting these wins, going in with the best record. They know the bigger picture. They never want to go to the bottom. And once they get the taste of success, this team with multiple great talent, Thompson, who looks like a DPOY candidate, of course, Isaiah Stewart just winning DPOY of the month, or defensive player of the month, I should say. Ron Holland, the emergence of Jenkins, Caris LeVert is still on the team, of course, getting Kevin Huerter. We're seeing B-Ball Paul look like a legitimate starter. This is a team that has nothing in their way. And looking at Cade, when they asked him about the Celtics getting Jason Tatum back, he's going to help them, but we're going to run our race. We like where we're at, and there is no better way to put it than liking where they're at when you're at the top of the Eastern Conference, the NBA, and even diving farther in to the stats of the team. Looking at the Detroit Pistons, a 75.5% win record on the season. We can see points per game ranked 10th in the NBA, rebounds per game 7th. We can work through assists at 11. Of course, Cade leading the league. Steals per game number 1 at 10.6. Blocks per game number 1 at 6.3. This is a team that's 21-6 on home, 18-7 on the road, 53 games played. The big thing is, with the remaining strength of schedule at 51%, it's ranked 7th. This is a team that continued going on the win streak. You can see they ended the Knicks win streak after beating them 118-80 and a dominant force. Of course, they didn't have Karl Anthony Towns or OG. They ended the Hornets' 9-game winning streak after that and beating the Toronto Raptors, all teams that are in a close race just behind him in the standings. And that is exactly why this team is inspiring for the bigger picture, making that push. But fans, what is your thoughts on this? What is your thoughts on Cade Cunningham this season? Is he going to win the MVP? What's your thoughts on Jalen Duren? What's your thoughts on the supporting cast that Trajan has built around with Kevin Huerter, the pickup? Of course, we want him to shoot better. With Duncan Robinson either hitting threes or sucking in enough defenders that he has the dump pass down to the big. What is your thoughts on this team? Is this the year, or do you think they're just getting the taste of it? And as they develop with Ron Holland still young and multiple names, this could be a team that goes on multiple runs. Leave your thoughts down in the comments, because I love reading through them. While you're down there, hit that subscribe button as well. It's completely free, and I'll keep you up to date on everything to do around the Pistons. But I've been your host, Mark Bai. I hope you guys are enjoying the All-Star Weekend. Some of the dunks were a little questionable. I hope Jace Richards is fine, but take care, Pistons fans. Go Detroit basketball.